And before I mention any Khawarij, please note that I'm going to mention the big fish names, okay? I'm not going to talk about the small ones. Because if you know the big guys, the big bosses of Khawarij, of today's Khawarij, then it's easy for you to identify the smaller ones. Anybody who supports them or praises them or refers to them, then 99% they have the same ideology. And yes, all of them have been exposed by scholars before me. I'm just a messenger. Number one is Sayyid Qutb. And this guy made the rules of modern Khawarij. He has a couple of famous books. One of them is Tafsir fi Dhilal al-Quran. It's a tafsir. And in another book, Al-Adala al-Ijtima'iyya, he made mass takfir on Muslims, governments, people. He said there are no Muslims on this earth today. All of them are like Jahiliyyatan, before Islam. And he supports mass killings, suicide bombings. And actually that's one of his grave deviances. He has a lot of other deviances. Next up is, of course, none the other, Osama bin Laden. And people actually think that this guy is a hero and he's a mujahid. And what he has done is not jihad, he's not a hero, he's a Khariji to the bone. He made takfir on Muslims, on governments, he made takfir on the kings of Saudi. He actually planned a lot of attacks on Saudi, several ones. He did the bombing in Riyadh and other Muslim countries. He supports them all. Everything is documented, by the way. He said it himself in many interviews and they're all on YouTube. Next up is Yusuf al-Qaradawi. And this guy is milder. He talks about democracy, he talks about freedom of speech and all that. But he is also a Kharij. He calls to revolution, he calls to takfir on Muslim governments. He supports suicide bombings. Yes, he is one of the heads of today's Khawarij. And lastly, it's Anwar al-Awlaq. I notice a lot of English speakers listen to his lectures. They're on YouTube. He has many emotional lectures. But actually, this guy is also a takfiri. He supports suicide bombings. He supports all the attacks that happen on Muslim countries and non-Muslim countries. He does takfir on Muslim governments. Now please note that there are many Khawarij subgroups. Of course, we all know Daesh, Al-Qaeda, Hizb al-Tahrir, Boko Haram. The Muslim Brotherhood is actually the main headquarter branch of Khawarij, of today's Khawarij. Now, as you know, 3 of the people that I've mentioned, they're actually dead. But the ideology and the Aqidah is still there. And it's still being spread among Muslims. And young Muslims, I see that.